Yo, just finished some exercise and I was gonna eat this cantaloupe and I was like, okay, and maybe I'll read, maybe I'll watch a YouTube video while I do it, or maybe I'll just go live on Instagram and talk random things that come to my brain and see who wants to talk to me. So I'm gonna slice this up. Wash it first though. And my hands. I learned all about, what up, brother? I learned all about melons from the Gracie brothers. The family that brought jiu-jitsu and the UFC to the world. They taught me about melons, how to pick one. I picked this one a few days ago, just a random one, and just made sure it didn't have any bumps or bruises. Now it's kind of like soft to the touch. I can kind of, what up, brother? I can kind of like push it in. So simple as that. Just slice it in half. Oh, I need to put trash bags in the trash can. Yeah, they were all about fresh fruits and vegetables. But other than that, just using food as fuel, which is, believe it or not, a revolutionary concept. So they're very particular about when they're juicing something, they don't touch it really. Kind of just like hands off. Hey, Britt. Hands off, just try and get the nutrients and not ruin it. So I'm just gonna scoop these insides out. Unfortunately, the composting pile kind of went to the wayside. The box I had it in was a little too airtight, even with the holes I poked in it. So it was making the stuff way too hot and it got all moldy. So I'm going back to the drawing board with that one. Yeah. Feel power. Sorry folks, kind of a random live here. All right, now just slicing it kind of in thirds or fourths, just like a day. And then I'm just gonna take the knife and push it along to scoop this piece out. No need to, and then sometimes if I got too low, I'll come in from the other side. No need to force it here. This stuff's like super smooth. It's like cutting butter, so really just pushing it along. Kind of making a little bit of a mess. It's okay. Yeah, the hard part with fruits is kind of knowing like when they're in season, which ones are local, and which ones are just like shipped in from Africa. And nothing against that, but just like I don't know if my body should be eating foods that are shipped in from across the world on a regular basis. I mean, I'm eating this melon for the experience partially, but really the nutrients. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna cut these in smaller pieces, and then that's it. I've also heard eat a melon alone or leave it alone. So I'm gonna eat it alone and pretty much leave it alone, with the exception of this salt. And people may call me crazy for salt in the melon. I think it just delivers all the water and nutrients into my body a little bit faster. Plus I love salt. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit of honey on some of it. Not too much, I already had some honey for breakfast. I just can't resist. Yeah man, simple as that. How do you do that? And that is a lunch. Something I started doing recently, just taking a moment before I just slam food down my face to exhale and hold. And then think about how fortunate I am to be eating food. I mean, I had a car that drove me to the grocery store. I have a house to keep the melon until I was ready to eat it. I have a cutting tray, a knife, a sink, salt, honey, a safe place to eat it, and this freaking camera that is producing a live video, which is unnecessary, but it's all very cool. So I'm super fortunate, and I'm happy that this melon is gonna make me happy, healthy, and strong. That is amazing. Like, that's so amazing. It's been a while since I've had a melon. I don't think they're really in season in the winter, so I kind of stay clear of them. Yeah, I was on the Gracie diet for a while. Some may consider it a little bit of a fad diet. But I knew why I was doing it. I was experimenting. I was trying out some new things, eating 4 hours apart roughly. Although I've heard some negative feedback on food combinations, it really worked for me. What up, Diver Girl? The food combinations really worked for me. Changed a lot of what was going on. Simplified my meals and my life. So I was very happy with it. Did that for about 8 months. And then I did an ultimate lifestyle transformation, which further kind of like cleaned out my system, simplified what I was doing, helped remove a few more things that weren't helping me. Coffee and peanut butter. Didn't remove them immediately. I took a month off, came back to them, took the time off, came back to them, off to the point where now feeling pretty good. Still having some coffee every once in a while, but for a purpose. I mean, this is just amazing, dude. This is way better than like the one that they cut up in the store, probably with very little attention to ripeness or anything. You know what I mean? Look at this. I just cut that with a fork. Yeah, so I had a good breakfast, having a good lunch. I'm gonna head down to the dive center shortly, starting a new open water class this evening. So we do the classroom session. Meet up, say hi, fit them for gear, introduce them to diving, sign the waivers, everything. Tell them about what's to come, introduce them to gear, physics, and what we'll be doing in the pool. Head to the YMCA. That's all at Venice Dive Center. Head to the YMCA the next day. So I'll be there from 5 to about 9. Kick the students out at about 8 or so. Head to the YMCA for the swim test, snorkeling, and a little introduction to scuba. What up, Dan? There from 8 to 12, drive back over to Dive Center, clean the gear, talk a little bit more about dive theory, dive science, finish up around 3 or 4. Then the little guy, my brother's gonna be here with his girlfriend, which is gonna be amazing. And back to YMCA at 8 on Sunday, same thing, finish up more scuba stuff, and 8 to 12 there, then back to the classroom, rinse the gear, hand it back into the shop, finish up with some dive planning, dive emergencies, and plan for the next weekend. So, finish up there around 3 or 4. All sounds fun, right? But at what point do I eat? I mean, I gotta get there early at 8 a.m. to set stuff up. And then I'm in the pool for 4 hours, talking, teaching, demonstrating, keeping people safe. Well, and then we don't rush back to the shop, but I want to get there first, make sure everyone's good to go and not confused when they get there. And then I'm talking and teaching and discussing theories. It's like back to back. I can't tag out, I don't get a break. I gotta have my nutrition on point. I'm teaching life-saving skills here, people. Are you not excited? But seriously, like, I gotta be thinking clearly, not worrying about being hungry, thinking clearly and performing. So, like, how does that look for me? Well, it starts with a big breakfast. If I'm diving, usually some oatmeal mixed with some fruit and some power shake. Unfortunately, I'm out of powder shake out at the moment. Lunch, usually some more fruit, just because I got to eat it on the go. Some super aminos, and then dinner, whatever I can, you know, probably some meat. An avocado. But, I mean, that's a lot for me. I'm built for speed. So, I don't know, does anyone else here work a high intensity job where like people's lives are at, and not like, I mean, sort of you could die in a pool, but it's really about teaching them stuff so that they don't die. But like a job where you have to be on point for the whole time. Job where you have to perform physically and mentally. What do you eat? I'm serious. I want to know. I feel like I'm kind of rushing through this cantaloupe, but it tastes so good. And how do you prep your body? I mean, do you train specifically for your activity? Sports are different. I mean, there's very specific sports training. And the fact that people aren't doing sport-specific training. What's up, brother? Just eating some cantaloupe. The fact that people aren't doing sports-specific training when they're playing a sport is very weird to me. But for people that are doing active lives, how are they training? Because I see a lot of people training to be a bodybuilder. Aloha, brother. How we feeling? Nice to run into you again on another live. And nothing against bodybuilders. I mean, the first post that came up on my feed here was a local guy, Matthew, Warrior Aesthetics, just won a bodybuilding competition. Dude looks like a Spartan. Which is sick. You know, I'm glad he won. And he's also a trainer, so that's cool. But there's a lot of people that are just trying to be fit for life, fit for a job, fit for their kids, fit for whatever. Or maybe they just want to look good naked, but they're training specifically as bodybuilders. I mean, I've done it, but I don't want to be a bodybuilder. The thing is, I use my body more as a vehicle, not a means to an end. Not like, this is it, this is my body. It's like, no, I want to go do that. I want to go on a bike ride. I want to go diving. I want to go run. I want to go run jiu-jitsu. I want to go meet Kitty Cane Fitness in the park for some fitness sessions. I want to have sex. So like, sure, if my body looked good, it would be cool. It'd be good for Instagram photos. You know, this is if you're not a professional bodybuilder or amateur. But I need my body to be a well-tuned vehicle. That's like having like a Corvette in the garage that looks good, but doesn't have an engine or tires that actually work. Where you could build a beautiful muscle car that will take you 0 to 60, whatever drag race, and it can get you to point A to point B. And you know, you didn't make it to look good, but along the way, it came together. The wheels are just the right thickness and width, and it's got the right level of suspension. And the hood has like whatever, that little vented thing, so that it can like, the engine can cool down. I don't know that much about cars, honestly. And then all of a sudden you're like, damn, that car's pretty cool looking, man. Wow. I would take my shirt off if it wasn't so inappropriate. But that's what I learned from Trochasia. I mean, that dude is ripped. He looks amazing. He looks like probably what all humans should look like. I mean, I don't want to like put everyone into a category because all different body shapes, everybody's different. But I mean, like, for your standard American, standard human, dude looks good, and he does a lot of stuff, you know? He's always moving, grooving, dancing, meeting people. So mentally, physically, and emotionally, he's right where he needs to be. So I learned, what did he do? How does he do it? How does he train? How does he perform? How does he eat? And I learned. Yeah, right? And I learned what he was doing. And I learned Oh, along the way, you just happen to start to look amazing. I think when I was 19, my goal was to look good naked. Not since then. It's just been a byproduct of healthy living. I mean, like, if you train like a bodybuilder, 1 hour a day, say every day, maybe a rest day, whatever, that is not gonna cut it. I mean, we go to the gym to do a little bit of stress and then like gain some ability from that, grow back better. But there's like so many other hours of the day, like how are we sitting and moving then? What are we eating? How are we feeling? How are we treating our bodies? Are we just like loading it up with stress to the point where like, okay, my body's super stressed, now let me just go to the gym and stress it out. It's like, I think that's just gonna cause like aches and pains, poor sleep, terrible bowel movement. Or like, if I go, okay, I wanna live healthy, let me constantly be like moving my body in a correct way, or like just go for a walk, or like eat foods that are good for me, or like rinse myself with cold water instead of like warm tap water. And then all of a sudden like, and then the exercises kind of become extra. And then all of a sudden my hair's better, my mood's better, my skin, my bowel movements, my digestion. You know what I mean? Like there's no like, I just used to get these big pits in my stomach. I guess it's called bloating. Felt terrible. Who wants that? Which was, to bring it back to the Gracies, the idea behind their diet was we always need to be ready to fight, so we can't be bloated after a meal. We want to use the food as fuel. We want to always be ready to go. It's all gone. How'd you guys like the sound of that? Yeah, so holistic health. It's about good sleep, good food, good movement, good mental clarity, emotional support, supporting of yourself, a purpose. You know, it doesn't have to be like an Olympic athlete or the Messiah, but just like my purpose could be to be there for my family or to support. Gratitude is great. Like the purpose could be small. It doesn't have to be big. Holistic health, baby. I love it. All right, I gotta pack up the car for the scuba day. Appreciate you coming in here, dude. Final thoughts before we head back to work? I'd say have fun. What do you got? Just oozing my light, man. You know what it is. What up, Stefan? It's actually about to tune off, brother. I gotta go pack up the car for the open water weekend. Well, it's confined water, but open water course. So, all right, guys. Ciao.